students, welcome to the applied mathematics video. As I told you earlier, the first 4 unit of applied mathematics is common for all the branches and the 5th unit is different for different branches. So for EG and electrical branch, unit 5 is complex numbers and Laplace transform. So in previously we had seen the unit 5 chapter 9 complex numbers. Now today we are going to start unit 5, in that chapter number 10 Laplace transform. So let's start with Laplace transform. So very first thing is learning outcomes. So after watching this video, student, you will be able to define Laplace transform. You will be able to define Laplace transform of standard function. You also will be able to apply properties of Laplace transform. You also will be able to define inverse Laplace transform. You will be able to apply properties of inverse Laplace transform. You will be able to understand the methods of finding inverse Laplace transform, and you also will be able to solve the differential equation using Laplace transform. So these are the learning outcomes of this chapter. So now let's start this chapter. So very first thing is introduction of Laplace transform. So in mathematics, the Laplace transform, named after its inventor Pierre-Simon Laplace, is an integral transform that converts a function of a real variable t, often time, to a function of a complex variable s, which is a complex frequency. So the transform has many applications in science and engineering because it is a tool for solving differential equations. So in particular, it transforms differential equations into algebraic equations and convolution into multiplication. Okay, so that's why this Laplace transform has a very huge application, especially in electronics and electrical engineering branch. Now let us see the definition of Laplace transform. So the mathematically we can define Laplace transform as if f of t, function of t, is greater than 0, then its Laplace transform, which will be denoted by suppose capital F. So capital F is, that is equal to Laplace of f of t, and this will be defined as Fs is equal to integral 0 to infinity f of t into e raised to minus st dt. Okay, and this is also written as Laplace of f of t. So Laplace of f of t is equal to integral 0 to infinity f of t into e raised to minus st dt. This is the mathematical definition of Laplace transform. So once again, by definition, we can write Laplace transform of function t as integral 0 to infinity e raised to minus st f of t dt. Okay, so this is Laplace transform by its definition. Then let us see the Laplace transform of standard function. So like derivative, in derivative also we had seen the derivative of standard function. Similarly, we can see the Laplace transform of standard function. Now this Laplace transform of standard function can be taken as a formula of Laplace transform. So in while solving the sum, we will use this as a formula of Laplace transform. So let's see the formula. So if the function is k, where k is a constant, then Laplace transform of k is k upon s. Okay, if function is e raised to at, where a is any number, then Laplace transform of e raised to at is 1 upon s minus a. If here it is e raised to minus at, then Laplace transform will be 1 upon s plus a, opposite of this. Okay, if here it is 80, then Laplace transform will be 1 upon s minus a. If here it is a minus 80, then here it come plus a. Then third is Laplace transform of t raised to n is n factorial upon s raised to n plus 1. Then Laplace of t raised to n, there is one more formula, and that formula says that this t raised to n is gamma n plus 1 upon s raised to n plus 1. Okay. Now when we are going to apply this n factorial formula, this first formula, and when we are going to apply this second formula. So for that, when n is a whole number, when n is an integer, in that case we use this formula. That means Laplace of t raised to n will be n factorial upon s raised to n plus 1. And whenever n is a fraction, whenever n is a non-integer, in that case we will use the gamma formula. Then next is sin at. So sin at or sin kt, so Laplace of sin kt is k upon s square plus k square. Then Laplace of cos kt is s upon s square plus k square. Okay. Sin kt Laplace is k upon s square plus k square. Cos kt Laplace is s upon s square plus k square. Then sin hkt, hyperbolic function, so Laplace is k upon s square minus k square. And cos hkt Laplace is s upon s square minus k square. So what is the difference between circular and hyperbolic function? So in their Laplace, in denominator circular function is plus sign, and in hyperbolic function in denominator there is a minus sign. So that is the difference between circular and hyperbolic Laplace formula. So with this I am concluding the introductory video of Laplace transform. In next video we are going to do some properties of Laplace transform. So with this I am concluding this video. So thank you students.